All right, guys, getting started on changing the packing in a W200 Weatherford triplex plunger pump. So easy enough. Got it blocked in, already drained out the fluid end, which is important. Obviously, you need to get the fluid off it because you're changing the packing. And the first thing you want to do is loosen up this packing gland here. And then you're going to want to break this loose with a pipe wrench, which as you can tell, I've already done both of those things. But then we're going to go ahead and get this taken out. On this one, it's pretty difficult to break. I had to use a 60-inch pipe wrench to get these rods out and get this power rod broke, because at the factory, I mean, I swear they set these things with a crane or something. I mean, they were extremely tough to break. Of course, you want to keep the jaws of your pipe wrench off of the ceramic. I shouldn't have to tell you that, because obviously it's ceramic and you could break ceramic with a pipe wrench. So we're going to get this spun out of here and get this all out of our way. Now, second to get this pulled out. After you got it broke, you could spin everything out by hand. You don't have to use the pipe wrench to get it all out of there. The other thing, obviously, before you get started on this, you do want to make sure you got your spare packing in stock to put back into there. Now, I'm going to set that back in one thread real quick, because I can't get these separated. Now that I got that broke loose, I'm going to have to roll this back forward, tuck it back up inside of the packing right there. All right. So now, as you can see, we got the piston disconnected from the power rod there. So your power rod, piston, your plunger, whatever you want to call it, it's been disconnected. All right. We had to loosen this off a little bit and get the pressure off of there. That was stuck in that chamber, so we know those valves are pretty good. They were just replaced not too long ago. All right, now we can get the packing gland out and set that out of our way. Once that packing gland's out, now you remove your cap piece here. This compresses all your packing into the chamber, so we can go ahead and pull that out. And then now you got your packing inside. Your packing is wrapped around this plunger. It's a lot easier. You could technically fish that packing out now. Now that your plunger's, your packing gland and your cap's out, you can find something to pry in there and get that loose and get it out of the way. But on this particular pump, I've been pretty unsuccessful with that. I have to take the, I actually have to take the wiper gland off on the other side and break the power rod loose to get the plunger off to get to the packing. So we're gonna go ahead and do that next. That wiper gland bolt looks like a 19 millimeter. Once you got that loose, that wiper gland has it's kind of like it's tapped in, so it kind of swivels over the housing. You don't take the bolt or the nut all the way off. First off, it's using lock nuts, so it'd be kind of a pain to do anyways, but all you gotta do is loosen it off enough for that little arm that's holding that gland on to swing away far enough from the housing, and the wiper gland will come off. Now we're gonna break that power rod loose. Now this is the hard part. This thing's gonna be tight. Sometimes you'll have to stand on it, put a cheater pipe, whatever you can do. Ooh, just give you guys an idea of what I'm trying to do here. Break that power rod loose on that side. And man, is it tough. All right, give you guys an example. what I had to do here. Obviously I had to break power rod loose, and we had to take this gland that holds the oil into the crankcase. We had to loosen that off, okay? Now that we have all of that taken care of, we gotta get it out of the way. So now we're gonna pull this, sorry for my bad camera skills. All right, pull that out of the way. Now that we got the power rod and the wiper gland out, I know, it's excessive step. If you had rope in packing, you wouldn't have to do that. I mean, you could probably do it with this packing, but honestly, I find it faster just to pull it out. Now, we're gonna take the plunger out. So this is coming out. Go ahead, when you got that out, inspect your plunger. Make sure it's not cracked, broken, anything like that. All right. Plunger looks good. Next step is that we are going to go ahead and take the packing out. Packing looks pretty crushed, pretty wore out. So you need a screwdriver to pry that out. Plenty of room to get a screwdriver in on this side. As you can tell, when I pull this apart, you see how compact and burn up that packing is compared to the new stuff. And you can go ahead and toss the rings, everything you take out. The kits that come in with all new everything. Now again, this kit is the same forward or reverse, but normally when you're changing this packing, packing goes in how it comes. Same way you pull it out, same way you put it in. All right, so let's get started with that. So whenever you're going to put the packing back in, you want to oil the packing before you put it into the pump. So I'll go ahead and take this, open this, and you're going to want to cover all of this with oil. Okay, and so you want to fish in one piece at a time, but we will coat it in oil in a cup, and we'll go ahead and just soak these in oil. Don't be a sissy. Get your hands in there, get them all covered in oil. I want to hear you crying. Make sure it's just kind of like using your palm to grease a bearing. Now, when you're putting these in, they got a 45 cut on them. One goes up, one goes down. You can alternate them up and down. You don't alternate them all four directions, but you want to alternate them when you put them in. First one's in is going to be up. Another piece of packing, oiling it up, getting that oil all over it. All right, it's gonna be down. Place our rod, wiper gland. Now, we need to tighten the power rod. Tight. All right, now you got that power rod in. You got two options. You can pull the plunger back to it, or you can roll the whole thing over to the plunger. Plunger down. Now we got to tighten it. Back to this guy. Big pumps, big tools. Yep. Make sure your teeth are not on your ceramic. Put this guy back on. Well. Now tighten up that packing nut the rest of the way. Now don't over tighten it, just snug it up. You don't need to tighten it like crazy. You want to kind of tap it or run it in there until it's nice and snug. Pretty much on this pump until you're really just not going to see any threads anymore. Pretty close to it. We're gonna save that one for another day. And that's it. After you got that packet changed, make sure you run that lubricator nozzle back down on top of the plunger pump, or on top of the plunger, and oil up that hole really good for that fresh packet. Go ahead and oil up the others while you're there to help prevent these from leaking further. Lubrication is key. All right, now that we got that done, we're gonna clean up. That's it. Easy enough. Thanks, guys.